It is time for another F1 World event. Lots of talent on the grid, a great racetrack as well. Let's get things started. Originally built for motorbikes, but we're here for Formula 2 today. It's a flowing track, it's fast, in a three-pronged shape, 3.3 miles, 16 turns, and just one DRS zone on the long straight. We're looking forward to some overtaking. Let's take a look at the grid positions for today's race. Rotoma Miata lines up on pole position,
with Zach O'Sullivan alongside.
Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Maloney, Correa,
Andrea Kimi Antonelli,
Martins, Crawford, Bortoletto, Hadjar, Ollie Behrman, Dirksen,
Colapinto,
Kushmini,
Taylor Barnard,
Fittipaldi,
Villa Gomez.
Hello one, hello all, and welcome to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes.
I know you're frustrated to be this far back on the grid, but you've got to keep that under control. Keep a cool head and work your way through the field gradually as you go. It's not all going to be won or lost at the first corner. Okay, we've been given a time penalty. It will go against our finishing time at the end of the race. Get your head down and let's get it done. Let's focus now for the rest of the race. Rex here on the pit wall. Please keep it clean. You might experience some understeer now that you're in the wake of the car ahead. Try to get past as soon as possible. fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. Well done. Great manoeuvre. You made it look so easy. Well done, that's 3 clean laps in a row. Beautiful stuff, keep it going. Final lap, push, push.
yes, yes! Come on, boys!
Ah, what a clean win. Great stuff, mate. That is going to do your progression wonders.
Brilliant stuff from Campos today. What a superb victory.
Oh, it's brave, brave stuff, isn't it? That's what these cars are for, to tempt these moves out of the young drivers, and they've really done a beautiful job of it there.
It's time to present the top drivers with their trophies for today's race, and there are a lot of people in the paddock very happy with this result. It's Campos on the top step.
Well, it's been glory for some, less so for others. But who knows? The tables might turn next time out. Plenty more races to come this season, so join us again. It's F1 World.
Here is the grid for today's race, which will be starting shortly. A fantastic effort from Zay Maloney yesterday puts him on pole position. And it's Victor Martins in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Miata. It is the Formula 2 race. It is time to introduce you to Alex Brundle. I'm Alex Jakes, and we've got changeable weather out there today. That's making for some nervous team personnel down in the paddock, down in the pit lane.
There are going to be some quivering hands on the tyre guns, aren't there, when they tighten up what could easily be the wrong specification of tyre completely for the conditions. It's a gamble out there.
The formation lap gets underway for this, the Formula 2 race, and every driver will be looking to settle in for the race ahead, making sure the car is ready for battle once the lights go out.
lap of the race. That was the fastest lap of the race so far. race. Keep this up. Well done. that last incident, mate. Let's go. Final lap.
Yes, 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 guys, yes! Come on, boys!
mate. You're out there in a class of your own. That was absolutely brilliant.
An incredible win for Campos. Brilliant performance. I can see them on their way out to the podium now. Campos.
We've gone wheel to wheel, we've seen thrills and spills. Who knows what's coming next? So join us again for more F1 World action.
Located in the Ardennes countryside, Spa has been hosting races for almost a century, and it's revered by drivers and fans alike. So it's a joy to be here today, as we prepare for the next thrilling instalment of the Formula 2 race calendar. So here we are again, a whopping 3.5 miles of track here at Spa, featuring long straights, some seriously fast corners, and some massive elevation changes. This is a track that routinely delivers high-quality racing, and we'll be hoping to see just that from our young F2 drivers today. As the engineers make their last inspection of the cars, let's take a look at today's grid order for the race. A fantastic effort from Zane Maloney yesterday puts him on pole position,
with Zach O'Sullivan alongside.
Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Martins, Miata, Gabriel Bortoletto, Behrman, Miney, Correa, Crawford,
Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Barnard.
Dirksen, Ocampos, Dennis Hauger, Fittipaldi, Hadjar, Cordial,
Rafael Villagomez. Colapinto.
Aaron, Verschoor, and Roman Stanek completes the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's get down to the track. Hello one, hello all, and welcome to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes, he is Alex Brundle, and we have changeable conditions today, Alex. How does that uncertainty affect the strategy?
Well, uncertainty is what strategy is all about, but it absolves the teams from the responsibility of running both compounds of tyre. They might have to use that wet tyre, of course, and then the question is, where do those crossovers lie between the wet and dry conditions?
will go against our finishing time at the end.